Hey guys, it's Josh Lloyd. It's a pregame show. We've got 9 games on a Monday. Keldon Johnson just got ruled out. There you go. Keldon Johnson out. Should we go through what we do know? And then we'll go through lineups. We'll do dribble game. We'll answer your questions. We might even do some stream options given the guys that are out. Would that suit you guys? Good to have you guys, the ones of you who are here. It's good to have you guys here. I'm sure more people will come in. Let's see who's out today. Colin Sexton, Kelly Olynyk, out. OG Anunoby, game time decision. Gary Trent, out. Tobias Harris, he's returning. Markelle Fultz playing on a back-to-back. John Collins, probable. DeJounte Murray, questionable. Gary Harris out. Wendell's out. Capella's out. Suggs is out. Jim Middleton is out. Brandon Ingram is out. Joe Ingles is back. Giannis is back. Larry Nance is out. Josh Richardson is out. Keldon Johnson is out. Romeo Langford is in. Josh Giddey is out, but Shea, who was ruled out yesterday, is playing. Darius Baisley is out. Who else is out in that game? Gary Payton is out. Yusuf Nurkic is out. Drew Eubanks, great stream. Rudy Gobert is out. Naz Reid is probable, so we're streaming Naz Reid, not Nathan Knight. Dwight Powell is still questionable. Kyle Anderson is questionable. Their wing depth is putrid. So you have to have big minutes from McDaniels, and Jalen Noel's going to have to step up as well. Maybe they play Knight and Reid together. That's possible, I guess, if Anderson is out. Luka Doncic is back. Tim Hardaway is questionable. Anthony Davis is obviously out. LeBron is out. Austin Reeves is out. Cameron Payne is out. Devin Booker is out. Jock Landale is out. Ayton is still questionable. Beverly is still questionable. Rozier is doubtful. Dennis Smith is out. D'Angelo Russell is a game-time decision. OG is in. OG Anunoby is in. There you go. We got that news just coming through now.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop,
ones.
OG. You better stop, OG.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Nice little rapid fire there of news. Let's bring the lineup screen up as I wait for it to load up because it just crashed. Actually, you know what? Let's do dribble game first. Little appetizer, palate cleanser to get into the action. Let's have a look. Who are we looking at here? Mikal Bridges to Duncan Robinson. Suns to Heat. Jay Crowder? Jay Crowder. That's easy. Bang. All right. Got that one right. Let's go and look at the lineups. What news, what do we have confirmed? We've only got the Magic confirmed, and that is Fultz, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Bol Bol, and Mo Wagner. We know Isaac Okoro is starting for the Cavs. We know Shea is back. We don't have Keldon Johnson. We're going to update that. We've got him listed as a starter. That will change really soon. We'll get that adjustment done. Welcome to everybody who is here. Good to see you guys here. We're still making that adjustment on Keldon. John Collins and DeJounte Murray are in. They are back. They are playing as my screen just dies. They are back and playing. So there you go. Collins is back and DeJounte is back. Good news. Tobias Harris starting. The Sixers are starting. Harden, Melton, Harris, Tucker, Embiid, their regular starting lineup. I imagine that the Hawks will start their regular starting lineup with a Okongwu in there instead of Capella. So Bogdanovic back to the bench here. Griffin and Johnson, those guys aren't going to have that role anymore as the Hawks get back to being relatively healthy. I know the screen just died. Let me put it back up. Just had an error that caused that to die, so we'll put it back up for you. All right. Hello, everyone. How is everyone who's here? Let's go through some questions you guys have. Who is your worst player in case I need to drop some? I have no idea. Back Bronson? No idea. DeJounte is playing Bullet Chenol. That's Shen, yeah? Chenol? I hope so. What about DeJounte? He is playing. Should I start Bogdan or Hayward with Murray back? It is a back-to-back. I don't think Hayward's going to be limited. I would probably start Hayward, I think. But it's really a toss-up. The Raptors will start Van Vliet, Barnes, Anunoby, Hernan Gomez, and Siakam. No Flynn. Idiots. Why start Hernan Gomez? I have no idea. What do they see in this guy? Absolutely no idea. My screen continues to die. Hopefully it's all good. Luka Doncic and Davis Bertans will play today. Trey Mann in the G League. So if you're thinking of streaming him, don't. He's not there. He won't be back until 27th, it looks like. So don't look at Trey Mann, who's going back for an extended run, because he's been overtaken by Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams. And he's just going to get some reps in for the Oklahoma City Blue. So be aware of that. Get to your question. I'm just making an adjustment on something with Trey Mann and his future projections. Yep. All right. He's out for those games. Cool. Do we make a change on the Spurs? Not yet. Okay. Drop Nance or Nembhard to take OG off IL. Nembhard pretty clearly there. Was there a pregame show yesterday? No, there wasn't. N23. It's hard to do them on Sundays because there's all these weird stagger start times. So if I do one, I've missed like 1 or 2 games. There's only like half the people that watch those ones anyway. So I decided, given the weirdness of the schedule, I'm just probably not going to do a pregame show for Sunday's games because of how the schedule is spread out. So that's why there wasn't one yesterday. And I don't think I'm going to do one of those moving forward. We'll see that. Who is your worst player in case... Okay, so now we've got the full question here back, Bronson. Tom Bryant, Walker Kessler, or Jabari Smith? Who's your worst player there? Ooh, that is tough, right? All of those guys, I think, are pretty clear must-roster players. If you have to drop somebody, because there's just an unbelievable... Look, the type of option that you need to drop someone for is someone like a Tom Bryant, right? It's not for an Okongwu-type stream. You wouldn't drop any of those players for an Okongwu-type stream. It probably is Bryant as the worst of that group. I honestly fear Anthony Davis' season is over. That's my fear. It's just too much. Well, there's not enough. There's no news at all. And that's really worrying to me. And then Windhorst went on, I think, ESPN somewhere today and said, yeah, look, it's not an ankle sprain. It's not a foot sprain. He knows something. And we know how cryptic Windhorst likes to be. He knows something. Or if he doesn't know something, he's putting 2 and 2 together the way I am, to say that this is something that is looking or feeling to me like there is some sort of fracture in his foot. That's my fear with Anthony Davis. Anyway, I think Bryant's probably the worst out of that group, although it could be easily argued that it's Kessler because of minutes or Smith because of inefficiency. I don't think you'll get a consensus view on that. Plumlee over Herb Jones? Well, that's a great question, SFCHKY03, because I don't know. And nobody else does know. But it is a good question that highlights the importance of understanding a category league. Because if you're not punting free throws, there's no way you take Plumlee. If you're looking for rebounds with field goal percentage, then Plumlee's the guy. If you're looking for a sprinkling of threes and steals, then Jones is the guy. To me, they are both sort of back-end players that really depends on the individual squad. And you're the only person who can really answer that. And that is really the nuance of fantasy category leagues, is understanding that there's no answer here. This is a points league. One guy might average 27, one guy might average 24. You take the 27-point guy. In a category league, this is just really hard to answer. You need to look at how your team is and what one makes sense. Why is LeBron out? He wasn't on the injury show earlier because he wasn't on the injury report when I recorded that. He's out because it's a back-to-back, and he's had that ankle problem all season, so he's resting on a back-to-back. That's all. Conley, hold or drop. Interesting. His schedule this week's really good. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. He has been underperforming. I think, again, realistically, look on the waiver wire. Who are you adding that is better than Mike Conley? In a 10-team league, I can easily see someone there who is a better ad than Conley. In a 12-teamer, I struggle to find that person. Conley has top 70 upside. I don't know that he gets there. The shooting's been really off since he returned. But who's better than him that's on the wire? He is trending downwards. Returning from that knee problem, leg problem, I'd be more inclined to hold, but it's not looking great. Eubanks or Watford, 12-team? I think it's Eubanks. I think he'll be the guy that gets the start there, not Watford. Watford's more undersized than what he is. I think it's Eubanks. Do I like Wood or Smith more in a 10-team league? Jabari Smith or Christian Wood? Competitive in free throw, so wanting to trade him. I like Wood a little bit more, but the free throw thing's an issue. I'd be aiming higher. Watch what Wood does. I reckon we might get a good game from him. Yeah, I would look for more from Wood. Is the fact that AD was walking around without a boot courtside at the Lakers game yesterday as a good sign? Not really. Cade Cunningham was in full gear practicing, warming up. I don't think it's a. Again, we try and read into this stuff a lot. Ooh, is it a good sign? And I can make the argument, yeah, well, if it was terrible, he'd be in a boot or he wouldn't be there. But what I am more worried about is listening to the lack of information. What's 3 days on? We still don't know what the injury is. Consistent reevaluation, the changing, the timeline stuff from Shams and Woj. That's what worries me. Versus trying to look at him on the court without a boot on. But it is a good point. Do I think Booker plays tomorrow? Yes, Tiberius, I do. But yeah, I think this is more just a rest after scoring 58 the other day. Besides fantasy, who's my favorite player to watch? It's Jokic. He's just so fun. I love watching him every game. He's my most fun player to watch pretty easily, I think. Is an Embiid trade for Donovan Mitchell collusion? No. Why would it be? I guess what you'd have to do is collusion. Most times it's really easy to spot it. What's Embiid? I think Embiid might be number 1 at the moment, but Mitchell's like number 7. And the easy thing here to look at is I just think Embiid's going to get hurt. Okay. Why would you think that? Well, he's missed lots of games. So I cannot see how trading 2 current first-round players for each other could possibly be considered collusion. Am I worried about Larry Nance? Not at the moment, no. How worried am I about Kyle Lowry? Not worried at the moment, but he has had persistent injuries his entire career. So you got to have a little bit of concern. Will the Boxing Day test go over under 5 days? Good question, Mayor of Knox County. Will the last one go 1.5 days? I think it'll go... Melbourne had a shocking pitch last year for the test, didn't they? Would have gone for 10 days, I reckon, that game. Let's go with it'll finish in the morning of day 5. Horford or Adams? That's very similar to a question before, Jake Quillen. Because Adams just putridly pisses on your free throw percentage. Putridly. He's a bigger rebounder than Horford. It's probably Horford there. But it's going to depend entirely on what your team is ready to accept or willing to deal with. Horford blocks more shots than Adams usually. Adams is a much better rebounder, a higher field goal percentage guy. Horford hits threes. It's probably Horford. But yeah. It sucks about Jalen Hurts. I have him in my fantasy. Yes, he is the guy driving me to the upset, the 8-1 upset yesterday. And now I'm not going to have him next week, and I'm finished. I'm rooted. There's no way I can win that now. That is bad news for him. Is Aiden playing tonight? We don't know. You can also see it on that screen that you've got in front of you there. Hey, Walker Kessler's listed as starting. Let's go. I need to go back and check the news. Walker Kessler is listed as starting. Let me just go and quickly check that. Tim Hardaway is out. Kessler is starting Kessler is starting with Vanderbilt next to him. So they're keeping Markkanen at the 3. Olynyk's out. Kessler's replacing him at the moment. That is what we have been told. Tim Hardaway is out. I don't know who will replace him. Maybe there's Kemba value stream today because of those absences. But yeah, is Ayton playing? I don't know. See that blue Q next to his name? That says that he is still questionable. Patrick Beverley is still questionable. Kyle Anderson is still questionable. Jeremy Grant is still questionable. As you can see, Tim Hardaway has been ruled out, so we're going to update that starting lineup over there. I don't know that I fully agree with this Bates-Diop-Sohan combination that they've added onto the Spurs lineup. But who else could start for the Spurs? Branham. I reckon Branham will start, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think that will be Bates-Diop starting. I think that will be Branham that starts there. But I'm not working at Basketball Monster at the moment. I'll be there in 15 minutes. And yeah, I trust the people that are there to make their calls on the lineups. With Hardaway out, who would Dallas start with Hardaway out? Probably Bullock, yeah? Almost definitely going to be Bullock who starts, I think, in that spot. Yeah, Reggie Bullock would be the guess for that position. Why don't I ever pick your question? Because, McLovin, I just don't like you. I don't know, mate. I just don't ever see you. I didn't see your question. I don't deliberately choose some people's and not others. It's got to be a question that makes sense for me to answer. Do you start Kessler or Valanciunas? That's a good question, Matus. Because, no Nance probably helps Valanciunas. Although I think part of the reason they don't play Valanciunas is because his defense sucks, and it doesn't make sense next to Zion. I think I start Kessler. Yeah, I think I start Kessler. For the drink driving ad, are you advertising a specific product? No, I'm just telling people not to drive drunk. That's all it is. It's just a public service announcement to not drive drunk. There's no specific product. It's like a government initiative thing. Maga Porter Jr. upgraded to doubtful. Yeah, that's good news, isn't it? Can I speak on Jaden McDaniels of Minnesota? Surprised he hasn't stepped up more with Towns out. Does he have more in him? I don't think so, Chris. We talked about this a lot in the offseason where a lot of people were hyping him up because he was going to be that guaranteed starter with big minutes. And my thing with him was, where does it come from? Like, will he ever be able to get big usage? Probably not. He's had more defensive stats than I thought, but I always thought his upside was relatively capped. And the opportunities here now, obviously, for him without Towns, but I think maybe this is just who he is as a player. It's only year 3 for him, obviously. So, is it year 3 or year 2? No, it's, Jesus Christ, what is it? Year 3. Yeah. It's year 3 for him. So maybe he can still keep going, but I don't know that it's there. I don't know there is more in him. Offensive-wise, higher level option type things. Good question, James. Is Nance a drop if you have Fultz on the wire? Again, everyone is so quick to drop Nance, a top 90 player this season, not including turnovers. And if you want to include turnovers in the mix, he's ranked much higher than that. Like, everyone is really quick to drop Nance. Now, Fultz shouldn't be on your wire, so I'm going to guess it's a shallow format. And I'm going to guess you have someone worse than Larry Nance, to be honest. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Is he worth a drop for Fultz? Well, that's going to be, field goal percentage blocks that Nance brings, rebounds, versus Fultz, assists and steals. The equivalence there is, I think Nance's role is relatively safe. 24 minutes a night, up to 27 minutes a night, backup center. Fultz, I don't know what happens when Suggs comes back. I think I probably would lean towards Fultz because of the relative scarcity of assists, but it really does depend, again, on your team. Well, how do I be an automatic starter when he's back from illness? Yeah, I believe so, yes. Am I saying Valanciunas is a drop? No, I didn't say that at all. Is Grimes worth a pickup? Literally a whole show on this, Andre. Go check the last show I did. His face is right on the thumbnail. Is he a pickup? Yeah, the schedule's really good for him at the moment. The minutes are up. Now, be really cautious that his value has been either high shooting or high defensive stats, and it might not be there. But at least for the short term, the minutes are really high, and I think they'll stay high. But his schedule's really positive at the moment. He plays tomorrow when there's only 5 games on, and that works in your favor. So for the short term, yes, Grimes is a pickup, and that gives me an opportunity to hit this one.
This briefcase and this haircut.
AJ Kalano.
Good question.
Is Santi Aldama worth keeping on a 12-team roster? No, he's not. What's happening to Jamal Murray? He's just had a couple of bad shooting nights. He's also got a bit of a sore knee. That's it. Got to know, Kessler or Looney for this week? Kessler is up here. Looney is down here. It is miles different to me. And Kessler's got the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday great combo. I don't think they're even in the same ballpark. It is very easily, to me, Kessler over Looney. Very easily. Let's go back and check if there's any news updates. Jeremy Grant is in. Good news there. Jeremy Grant is playing. The Cavs are starting Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, Allen. I think we already knew that. We've got that Jazz lineup confirmed as well. So all of the early games confirmed. The Jazz is Conley, Clarkson, Markkanen, Vanderbilt, Kessler. That really worries me with shooting, although Vando's been shooting a little bit better. The Hawks, I'm guessing, will be Young, Murray, Hunter, Collins, or Kongwu, but we don't have that confirmed yet. Just going back to check more news. We don't know who's replacing Nurkic. I think it will be Eubanks. More minutes for Eubanks, Watford, and Winslow would be my guess. But Grant coming back limits some of that stuff as well. All right, a lot of questions here about Nance. Let's just get into it a little bit more because so many people keep asking about Larry Nance. Is he more of a streamer in a 10-team league or a must roster? Where's that question? I can't find. There it is. From Austin Greeny. Larry Nance is the 97th ranked player this season in category leagues. That would suggest to me that in a 10-team league where you have 100 active players, usually 130 rostered players, that if you're in the active roster spot, you probably must roster. Now, he's not going to be for everybody. The scoring is not there. The value comes from field goal percentage. That's really where it comes from, and that could fall off. It comes from rebounds, blocks, and steals. That's what he gives you. So if he's not a 65% shooter, which he has been this season, or he's a 63% shooter, it's steals and blocks. It's not going to be for everybody. I think that he leans more towards probably must roster and maybe stream in 12 team, 10 team, probably must roster, but it might not make sense for you. Your waiver wire might be just overflowing with abundance, and what you need is not Larry Nance's field goal percentage and steals. You might not need it. But I think he's really, he's a 12 team must roster to me, and in a 10 team, I get it's on the borderline. A Patrick Williams and Poku drops for 14. I wouldn't want to drop Poku now with the injuries in that front court, with Baisley still out, and in a 14-team league. Both of those guys are not 12-team must rosters, although Poku's probably a must stream in 12s. But in 14s, no, they're holds to me. With Giddey and others out, are Jalen Williams or Poku the safe ad? There is no safe with Oklahoma City. What I am confident with is Jalen Williams' minutes. His production, another story. I'm confident with his minutes. Poku, I'm never confident with it. So if you want to go minute security, I think Jalen's the safer guy there. But who knows what his production is. His production per minute's not that good. And he remains that luxury stash guy waiting for a few extra things to develop in his game, which might not ever come. And you need to be in a strong position. As in terms of streaming, I feel more confident about him playing 30 minutes with Giddey out or Poku playing 30. It's very easily Williams. But the production level, I don't know. Aaron Gordon, top 70 upside. I think that's going too far, David. I don't think top 70. He's performing at career best levels, and I don't think he's top 70 now. Where are you looking for the news? BasketballMonster.com. What other news is coming through? Nothing else. You guys know that I work at BasketballMonster.com. So when people ask me the news, we have a news feed page, which I will give you guys here. We have the lineup page, which you're looking on the screen. It's what we do. This is the stuff that we do. We have the news. We have all that stuff. There's the news link. You can go check the news page out there. We have the projections, all that stuff. The lineups, still there. Okay, what other news do we have? Do I have a favorite movie? No, I don't. Back because I'm not a rewatch person. There's too much stuff that I want to do in my life and watch and see and consume that I don't have something to go, man, I love this. I'm going to go back and watch it. Not interested, really. Unless I'm doing a full rewatch. I'm going to rewatch all of the Marvel movies. I'm going to watch all of James Bond. I'm going to watch all of Star Wars or whatever. That's it. I'll rewatch things as a group. Because I'm doing a whole series, franchise rewatch. Favorite movie? No. And I'm actually, as much as people think fantasy is all about rankings, I hate ranking things. I don't think there's a need for it. Because we all differ day to day, moment to moment. What do I like today? What do I like tomorrow? What do I like this morning? Do I feel hungry this morning? Do I feel hungry tonight? It changes all the time. So, I don't know. People love consuming rankings. I push back on it a little bit. Do I feel confident starting D'Angelo Russell in a weekly league? Not really. Especially with the fact that he's popped up injured today. Josh Hart playing today as well. He's in. What are they? They got a 3-game week, the Wolves, I think. Double check that. I'm going to sneeze. Maybe I can hold it off. I can't. So what do they have? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then no weekend game. That's only 2 games if he misses today. Yeah, look. He is listed probable, but a game time decision for D'Angelo. The fact that it's still probable, I would probably lean towards starting him. But it could really blow up, couldn't it? Kessler officially starting. All right, Devin, let's go through. What am I going to use as my cutoff for streams today? What roster percentage? Let's do 50% rostered, right? Who is my best stream today, 50% rostered? Nazareth Reed. He's 19% rostered. All right, he is my best stream for today. Naz Reed. Okongwu doesn't really cut it. He's at 51%. Tom Bryant's at 51%, but they're also elite streams. And the value of Bryant, if I'm going to... for today, Reed. For long-term, Bryant. Because we know that he is out longer, Davis, than what Gobert is out, than what Capella is out. But they're my top 3 streams. Then we get down to Torrey Craig, who I don't feel confident with. Walker Kessler still above that cutoff, but yes, rostered. Mo Wagner's a good stream today. Then we get to Eubanks, Fultz, Akogi. They're all stream options. And Schroeder. I hope that covered it for everyone. Hope there's enough stream value there with those players. Is Kessler or Naz a better stream today? I just mentioned that. I think Naz is the better stream for today. Longer term, it's Kessler. Would I rather have Zach LaVine's knees or Jalen Suggs' ankles? Suggs' ankles, I think. I'm really worried about LaVine's knees. Shamet or Vanderbilt stream in points today? It's tough. Vanderbilt, I think. I just don't have any confidence in Shamet ever. What's the trade value of Fred VanVleet? Well, you're looking at the right time. He was 5th over the last week. I think you want to look at a top 20 player. But I don't know if people are going to buy it. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard to sell him at this point. But I think if you can't get top 20, don't sell. Is the C word worse than the F word in Aussie? The C word, it gets said all the time here. You know how much I have to hold back from saying it on this show? It is said all the time. Aussies don't really have too much of a problem with swearing. So is it worse than the F word? For some people, yes, for sure it would be. But for others, it's literally said all the time. And it's not considered an insult, really. It's just used, honestly, it's used all the time. What would it take for me to eat eggs? What do you want me to do? Eat, like what? A plate of scrambled eggs? Yeah, $10,000. What does high level mean in the player news? It's just the more important guys, like the higher ranked fantasy players, because people can set, if you're members of Basketball Monster, alerts where you get emailed news, and you have certain alert levels. So high level is for a higher, more important, if there's a trade, we always put that as a high level or monster level trade alert. Or if there's an injury to a big name player, we put that as a high level thing. Whereas if you want to know whether Johnny Juzhang's been activated from the G League, that's a low level news and you don't need to get updated on that stuff. I think Melton is going to have 12-team value when Maxi comes back. At best, very end. We hold him because Maxi will ramp up slowly. But I think when we hit like 20th of January, we'll be going, is it even worth holding Melton? That's the discussion I think we'll end up having. Would I activate Ayton with the possibility of him not playing? I think he will play. I would probably roll the dice on that if it is my only option, yes. Like if I think I would. Any additional news on the Raptors situation? No, nothing has happened, obviously. But when I talked about that yesterday, it wasn't suggesting that he was going to be fired. It was saying that the person wouldn't be shocked if he was. That is not to say that they heard that he was being fired, but he was like, man, like in the past, that would have been crazy to hear. And now if it did happen, I don't think it would be crazy. That was what I was just passing on, which was a massive change in mentality around the Raptors team. Do I enjoy Dynasty or yearly fantasy more? I'm not in many Dynasty leagues anymore. I think I'm only in one. I was in like 4 or 5 and I moved out of them. I just didn't have the time to pay attention to so much of the trading that goes on there. So it's probably yearly more for me now. And do I think Isaac is back next week? No. Is he worth a flyer? No. All right. We are going to get out of here. So I thank everyone for being a part of the show. I'll be back later on, obviously, with the recap show. Stay tuned here on YouTube for that. There's already 2 shows released today, an injury report show and a streaming show for tomorrow. Dwight Powell remains a game-time decision. The Jazz are starting, as we mentioned, Conley, Clarkson, Markin, and Vanderbilt and Kessler. I'm going to head out of here. Guys, thanks again. Hit a thumbs up on your way out. I'll see you later. Bye.